electoral roll revision exercise is over. The final figures should all, of course, be informed to everybody. In most of the places, because these are panchayat elections and these are punch constituencies, the number of voters does not exceed 600, 700 or so. That's the maximum number where it goes. So we have a requirement of only one polling station in each punch constituency. But wherever there would be a requirement. The sarpanch has also been informed very clearly to every voter that what is the area, what is the place where the panchayat, where the polling station is. We would be having the standard identification documents which are there. Now, something very important that I informed yesterday also with regard to municipal elections, in the panchayat elections too, we are making special provisions for the exercise of vote by the Kashmiri migrants by way of postal ballot. For this purpose, there is a machinery which has been set up. The Relief Commissioner's office would be designating officers at different places in the transit camps in Kashmir, including apart from the various camps in Jammu, where the electoral rolls would be made available, and the migrants would, after filling up the forms for the purpose of expressing their choice to vote by way of postal ballot, they would be issued postal ballots by the returning officers. And these postal ballots are then expected to return back to the returning officer before the counting takes place. We will be, of course, appointing observers, the general observers, as well as the expenditure observers, and also the micro observers. The general observers would oversee the entire process of elections. The expenditure observers would be specifically looking at the day-to-day expenditure which is incurred by the candidates. I would like to indicate that the limits of expenditure have been revised. They are now 20,000 for sarpanch and 5,000 for panch. The limits in 2011 were 5,000 for sarpanch and 3,000 for panch. So these have been revised upwards to 20,000 and 5,000. The candidates are required to maintain all the accounts of their expenditure. All critical events will be videographed. In this entire process, since randomization plays a very important part to make sure that the elections are held in a free and fair manner, so the poll personnel as well as all other steps which are required to be taken to ensure that there is no disclosure in advance of which party is going to what place, that whole exercise would also be done. There is one important difference from the way the elections for municipal elections are held. These are elections which are not held on party lines. Therefore, there is no specific party. These are all elections which are held on party-less basis, which means that it is only the free symbols which are available for the candidates to pick up from. The reserve symbols are only for the national state parties. And since this is not on party lines, therefore it's the free symbols which are available for the candidates to choose from. Another important thing is that in all these, after the poll, immediately after the poll, the counting is to take place. The counting centers would be, of course, notified in advance, but the counting will take place on the same day of the poll or at the most the next day of the poll. Now, I would like to also inform you about the schedule which is there. The government has issued an SRO 405 dated today, wherein it is called the electorate to elect sarpanches and panches for the panchayat halkas. This is SRO 405 of today, issued by the Rural Development Department. Consequent upon this, we are issuing this election schedule. The election would be held in 9 phases. I'll repeat, the elections will be held in 9 phases. The date of issuance of the first phase notification in the Gazette is 23rd of October. 23rd of October. If you notice, the counting for the municipal elections is being scheduled for 20th of October. and this process is going to commence for the Panchayat elections on 23rd of October, that is Tuesday. In the first phase, the relevant dates are: the last date for making nominations is 30th of October. Date of scrutiny will be the next to that, 31st of October. Last date for withdrawal of candidature is 2nd of November, and the date of poll is 17th of November. So the first phase will commence on 23rd of October, and the date of poll will be 17th of November, 17th, and that very day the counting shall take place. And the results will also be announced thereafter. The second phase will commence on 26th of October, a gap of 3 days, and after the process of last date for nominations